when you look at sort of how last year ended, and you talk about the time you've had this summer to recruit and sort of put together a sales pitch, with where this team ended up last year and bringing back something Clemson baseball that fans haven't seen in over a decade, what are some of maybe the lessons you learned about where this program is headed and lessons you learned about just yourself as a coach?
Yeah, we'll talk about lessons I've learned, and nobody wants to hear about that. I'll tell you what, though, the fans, the legacy of Team 127 was the way the community felt like they rallied the community, and we asked the community to get rowdy and make this place hostile, and the environment here exceeded all expectations, and it just goes to show you, I guess, the lesson learned is that the community is not only behind Clemson athletics, as we all know, but really behind Clemson baseball, and was shared in the excitement with us, and we got to help create a memory for everybody, and there were so many good memories made, even though we fell short of our ultimate goal. It was still just an awesome atmosphere to see, and so to know that we've got a fan base in the community behind us that is ready and ready to go to Omaha with us, and to be able to be in a position to where we can earn it on the field to host the postseason, and be lucky enough to host both rounds of the postseason, and then I would love to see 10,000 people out there dogpiling with us. How cool would that be? But that was the feeling. That was the feeling after the regional. I mean, you had, call an offensive timeout. Jaron Purifies up. He's just a small town boy born and raised in South Detroit, and Marianos is playing that song, and then the lights go out and everyone's got their cell phone lights on, and we literally stopped our offensive timeout. I don't even remember, we were going to bunt or something, and we just didn't even do the play because we were just watching the concert that just impromptu unfolded. I mean, it was just, those are the organic, authentic, amazing moments that you remember forever, and that can, when you have a fan base behind you like that, that's what happens. So I think our team is just really energized to take that next step and keep making these memories together.
Have you gone through it all in appeals process in terms of the suspension, or is it still?
Yeah, we tried. It didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it was like taking a shot and getting blocked immediately. So I'll be take my medicine and sit out the first two. I'll have to watch it with Hennessy up in the booth or something. If they don't let me up there, I'll watch it from the hotel bar. Who knows?
Are there plans in place to replace you while you won't be coaching those first two games?
Hennessy's going to be the head coach. yeah, he's going to run the offense, and
I thought that's what BP was for today.
That's right.
We're all going to earn
It's a
our
tryout.
spot.
Yeah, we'll see who does the best, and yeah, it's a tryout. No, I mean, we've got Nick Schnabel and I have been together for 13 years now, and he's could have been a head coach a million times over. So he's turned down a lot of good jobs, and he's one of the best assistant coaches in baseball, and it's not just me who thinks that. He was the National Assistant Coach of the Year in 2019. And then obviously Jimmy Gollinger is widely regarded one of the best pitching coaches in the country, and so we'll be in good hands, plus the rest of our staff. So I don't worry about that at all, and I also trust our players. Our job sometimes as coaches is to eliminate our job. If we do what we need to do in training, then the games, that's where the players can, it'd be about them.
I guess in terms of the transfers, Gaffney, Priest, Pano, how they kind of enter the equation? What do you expect them to bring?
They're all awesome. We've got good problems. I think we said that early last fall too. We've got good problems to have because depth, and figure out where the pieces go, and feel the same way this year. It's just the eyeball test of not playing anyone, and no one in the stands, and no stakes, and but everybody going into an environment relaxed because they know they're going to play, and they know it's not about evaluation, but about pushing limits and testing boundaries, so they're playing mentally free. And just this version of what we're seeing is very impressive. We have a no shortage of talent from the neck down, but that we all know that that's only part of it, and their abilities from the neck up are going to determine how long we get to play. When we earn our way into the postseason, the neck up is going to a lot of times be just as important as their ability neck down.
I guess, Gaffney and Priest were both Big Ten players, and obviously you came from the Big Ten. Did you interact with them at all, like recruiting-wise, out of high school, or were they guys that just popped up on the radar? Otherwise?
Did not know Luke Gaffney at all. Colin Priest was a little bit of a, I don't know if he was a late bloomer or just a really good bat that was available late. So I had heard about him out of high school, but I had not heard about Luke Gaffney. And Luke actually, I think he redshirted or played sparingly his first year at Purdue, and then really burst onto the scene last year. And then, Colin, everyone knew he was a power hitter and had potential, but he obviously performed very well at Michigan and freshman All-American and did very well.
Yes, look at Gaffney position-wise. I think he plays first, but he also catches a little bit. Like, do you have an idea of where you want him?
He plays first, catches third, and outfield. So, yeah, he's already asked if he could have 4 gloves. So, we might have to get him 4 gloves because he can play 4 different positions. But yeah, he's a kind of a hitter first, and but is a good enough athlete where he's good at first, he's good at catching. You can put him at third if you need to. You can certainly stick him in left if you need to. But he's a guy that's proven it with the bat and had a good summer in the Cape, and certainly a guy we're looking at is going to make an immediate impact in the ACC.
Dominic Listy seems like a guy who just gets on base. Like, what would you call his kind of profile as a player?
I think that's his superpower, and that's one thing when we talked early in our conversations. We had an outfielder enter the portal, and then we called Dom, and it was like he stood out right away just because we talked about some of his strengths, and he didn't talk about hitting, or he talked about his focus of just making sure he can do whatever he can to reach first base, and just his laser focus on just being that on-base machine. And so far in just limited action of inter squads, you can see why. I mean, with 2 strikes, he chokes up to the top of the grip, and just it's almost like, feels like this guy's mentally in a bare knuckle fight with the pitcher to get on first. And it's just an older kid who's hyper competitive and just wants to find a way to reach base. But kind of a throwback, old school approach. Not someone who's enamored with metrics and launch angle. He's just going to try to reach base any way he can, which is, got to have guys like that.
Do you see the evolution of the transfer portal changing for you guys, just as you have come into consecutive years of being the head coach, just how that dynamic changes, and then also the success and the atmosphere you guys created, just of the profile of Clemson baseball, more widespread?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be in the mix with all the best transfer portal guys, just because I think college baseball has become older and it's in the post-COVID world, and the recruiting process has always been hard, but now it's especially going to get harder for high school kids now that rosters are being decreased. And I think coaches by default, the reliability of the stats at the high school level compared to the reliability of knowing the competition of a kid in the portal and knowing what conference he played in, what division it is, and so on and so on, and just having an older guy that's more proven. There's a lot of reasons to like the portal. But that being said, we still are going to be a program that builds our program with high school kids and develops high school kids. But for all the other reasons, though, the portal's very attractive for the right kids. We passed on a lot of kids in the portal that were very talented physically, but for whatever reason just wasn't the right fit for what we're trying to build here from a culture standpoint.
Time for one more question.
You received a contract extension back in June or July, and there were rumors having your name around other team conversations about their openings. I guess why was it important for you to stay at Clemson baseball? Stay at Clemson baseball.
I started here. I love it here. Everyone has a certain fondness and reverence for their alma mater. I certainly have mine for playing for Keith LeClaire at East Carolina, one of Coach Leggett's proteges. But I got to start here, and the start here was to get paid in Gatorade bars and T-shirts. and to wake up every day excited about coming to Clemson and fell in love with Clemson. And that never changed, that never wavered, and this was always a destination to aspire to come back to if the stars were to align and that it could happen the right way. Not with Coach Leggett being let go, right? That's not the way. But with him coming back and being like, there's nowhere else we want to be. Right? We love it here. Love that get to raise our family here. I'd still do this job for Gatorade bars and T-shirts. Just maybe don't tell that to the administration. No, but I would. I love it. I love it here, and I have the same reverence for Clemson as I do, the same feelings as the alma mater. It's just that because it's a start, it's a first. It's I trace everything back to, had it not been for Clemson, I wouldn't have been able to start coaching. And so because of that, there's a high level of loyalty that no interest in going anywhere else and never did.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.